Okay, today we're going to talk to Dan and Jim Dampier about the Dampier family, about the boats, and about their ancestry and how they arrived in the Nipigon area. So, Jim, you tell us the first part then.
Okay, Frank Dampier was originally, well, he was on the St. Lawrence River in Quebec area, and he had a farm, big farm down there, and he sold his farm and come up here to adventure into commercial fishing. I guess it was a big hit back then. There were lots of fish being caught and lots of money being made. So he come up with his family, and well, he did a little good bit for a while there, and then I guess he decided that he had enough, and he wanted to go back farming again. The rest of his family, his boys says no, they were staying here, and that's where they stayed, right here in Rossport and around this area here, and Nipigon. But anyways, and the young fellas carried on. Like, I never heard anything other than that of Frank Dampier. Like, I don't know what he ever happened to him on his farm some more or whatever, right? But us guys were busy fishing and running around
now, Dan,
boats.
you related to Gravel River. What was that?
Okay, that was where our great grandfather had my grandfather. That's where he was born, at Gravel River, downstream from the railroad bridge. And then from there they moved to Sandpoint. They lived there. That's where they had Tom and Jim. And after that, I'm not sure what happened, but I'm going through Alan stuff here, right? But
Okay,
yeah.
tell us exactly where Sandpoint is, though.
It's in the mouth of the Nipigon Straits on the west side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
On the peninsula side, yeah.
Just then you enter the Nipigon Straits.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the Ghanaians were there too. There was actually a grave out there. One of the Ghanaian babies was buried there, right?
Yeah, I don't know why, but someone had mentioned that. No, there's two graves out there. I don't know who that was.
Well, Alan looked for that this summer. He
Yeah,
tried to find it.
yeah.
He couldn't find it. He found some old pots and pans out there, and
Yeah.
but he couldn't find any
Yeah.
any remains of a
Well, we
grave.
did an interview with Irene, and she related to the burial
Yeah.
Okay.
out there. She
Yeah,
did.
eh?
Yeah, she did relate.
I thought there was two though. Someone
So-
told me two.
There could be. She talked
Yeah.
about one anyway,
Yeah,
so you are
for
right
sure,
about
yeah,
that.
Yeah, so Nini wanted to go out. I talked to him last year, and he wanted to go out this summer. We never made it. He wanted to go out and bring some of his mum's ashes there
Right.
and spread them around. He said, "Oh, they'll find each other, but more or less." But we never
Right.
made it, so maybe next summer, who knows?
Yeah.
But it was-
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that
So
would be her sister. I mean, that sibling would be Nini's mom's brother or sister.
Well, Nini called it his brother, so
Yeah, Nini's brother.
that's what Nini told me.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, so-
okay. Yeah. Okay.
Because he didn't know where the baby was. He said it's on St. Ignace, and I started telling him. I said, "Well, I'll know.
St.
I don't think
Ignace.
so. I know it's
yeah, hard to find then
Yeah,
for
yeah."
sure.
yeah.
So my dad
For sure.
told me
Yeah.
over the years we.
I know that years ago. Dad had mentioned that.
Yeah.
Okay, so now give us your mom and dad's information,
Okay.
names.
We just
Okay.
we stayed on 8th Street. We lived on 8th Street, and we stayed there a long time.
So my
We
mom
ate a
came
lot
up
of
from
fish. Oh yeah.
from
Kind of
Port
time we
Nickel,
see-
and
oh,
she
yeah.
stayed. Well, my uncle Harold was with her sister, so she came up to visit, and she ended up meeting my dad, and that's how they got to know each other, and ended up marrying her.
I thought it was. But Dad kind of told me, he said, if I remember properly, that Mom come up to babysit Agnes's kids.
Well, it could have been. I don't know.
The kids,
Yeah, I
babysit
know.
the kids.
Okay.
And then that was it, because Mom was going to go in for to be a nun.
That's right. Yes.
She was going to go in to be a nun.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then I guess things changed there,
Yeah.
because she didn't get that far with that.
So you lived on 8th Street then a long time.
We bought the house in 51, 52. Bought out of Johnson.
Well,
He just built the house.
he lived down in DPville here too for a while.
Yeah,
Yeah. Remember? Well, he told us when they were first married. He said it was pretty tough going, eh? Nothing to eat and stuff.
Yeah, that's right too. He said, that's right too. He said he used to have to go out and box out night and cut firewood.
Yeah.
Because it was, the wood that was close, he wasn't supposed to cut it, eh?
So all of them that came with your dad all ended up into fishing?
All my dad's brothers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All ended up doing
Gordon,
fish
Harold.
in the fishing.
Actually, no. George, no way. I can't remember him fishing.
No, he beachcombed a little bit though.
Yeah, Beachcombing.
Oh,
I think.
okay.
He just went on maybe the other guy's contracts. Though.
Maybe up.
I don't know. I think he beachcombed. He did beachcomb a bit. He did.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Anyway,
I-
fishing and boats were in your
Yeah, and
livelihood.
then
Yeah.
in the wintertime, went to bush camps and worked. Dad worked at Camp 9, Camp 7.
Camp 7, yeah.
Camp 7, he worked there in the wintertime. Him and Uncle Gordon, because they said they're looking for 2 mechanics. But Dad said, I don't know nothing about mechanics. Uncle Gordon says, I'll give you half my tools. He said, you go, he said. I'll give you half my tools. I said, go. So they both did mechanic work, eh? And then in the summertime they go back beachcombing or whatever it was, or fishing. First off fishing in the spring, then the beachcombing, and then they both worked for Don Clark.
Yeah.
And that's when they did the old switcheroo there on. Dad was making 10 cents more an hour.
Oh.
And Don Clark was all about logging, right?
Yes, he was the old guy, Don Clark. Awesome. The young fella, not so.
Yeah.
But Oscar Stiff, they had a camp down in the clay banks.
Yes.
My dad worked there at the clay banks.
Yep.
Yeah. And if you look up if you're going at, what's the name of that place where your wheel is on the highway? What's the name of that?
The Grey Rocks.
The Grey Rocks, you see the big wheel there?
Yeah.
That's
from
his.
there.
Him and I were hunting one fall. So we're way back in the bush there, eh? So we've seen these old wagon wheels. So we rolling these wagon wheels out of the bush, about a mile or so.
Oh yeah, at least. At least.
So anyways, we got them out. So he took his, he fixed it up, and I guess he sold it to
Carl
Chico
Hertz?
Girl.
Chico
Chico
Girl.
Girl, yeah.
So that's
They had
still
the Grey
you can
Rocks,
still
yeah.
see it on the side of the highway. It's still there.
Yeah.
And mine's hanging in my log shack at home, eh? In the side of the log shack, it's hanging up in the as an ornament, eh?
Yeah,
They're big. They're about that tall, eh?
Yeah.
They're big.
I put a gallon, over a gallon of that green preservative. It took about a week to get it to soak it all in. That thing is just solid hard like that, though. It's not going nowhere.
Yeah.
But I brought the 2 wheels out too. And got it under the boat. And we had the wheels in the punt together. And I reached in my back pocket. I told my dad. He said, "Look what I got too." There's sticks of dynamite. I didn't remember. Sticks of dynamite. You give me them right away. You drop them in the lake, and if the nitroglycerin was out of it, they'd hit like that. It'd be gone. Eh? I didn't know. Oh, did you see? Oh, they don't play with that. He says, "Don't play with that."
So, did you
boy.
two get involved fishing when you were young?
Oh yeah.
With their parents. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we were on the same team.
Beachcombing.
too.
Well, I just remember being a kid, like, I don't know, 7, 8 years old, and we wanted to go on the lake.
Yeah.
And they didn't want us to go on the lake because we were too small. We were just being away, eh? So I'd go over to Randy's house and I'd say, "Hey, Uncle Henry, my dad said I could go on the lake," and then we'd go back and forth and say, "Oh, your dad said you can go. Okay, you can go." And then we'd play the trick and then we'd go on the lake, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beachcombing
So-
was done in what part of the lake out there?
Anywhere where there was water.
Nipigon Bay, and then we beachcomb on Isle Royal,
Yeah.
1965. Silver Island area,
Edwards Island,
Edwards Island, yes.
Opry, whatever.
Yeah.
That's
So-
a long way.
It's a long ways, yeah. Well, when we beachcomb
beachcomb.
on Isle Royal, we got about 1,000 cords back then. We had the George N. Carlton from Thunder Bay come and towed the wood across from Isle Royal to Thunder Bay.
Boomed it and towed it. Eh?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Brought big storm booms and wrapped it.
yeah.
Come across. It was rough too. It was rough.
So,
I was on the Carlton, so I wasn't so bad. You guys are
Oh,
all
it was rough. The Swanberg, Uncle Henry's boat, they'd leaked bad. Eh? Ricky was done a bilge pump, the hand bilge pump, steady all the way from the time he left till the time he got into Thunder Bay. And everybody was sick on that boat, even the dog. I kid you not, everybody was made a mess.
They were all
That was
puking in
just
that little chihuahua there.
That little chihuahua. That thing was puking too. But I was on my dad's boat, and Jim Dandy, and like I say, and Henry had the Swanberg. But when he went up over a wave like that, you see a boat tip like that, you see that prop just spinning in midair like that.
Yeah, it was
Then
rough.
it'd catch water again, eh? So actually the boat would actually stop for a minute there until the wave changed angle, then it would go ahead again. But oh my God, that thing was bad for rotting though. You could take a knife and drive it right through the stern, right through the back end of it.
was it
bad.
easy to sell all of your wood that you beachcombed?
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It was easy. Yeah.
They bought it right fast as you could bring it in.
Yeah.
And it was mostly went to Thunder Bay.
No. Well, Nipigon Bay, just that one raft. Well, actually, we were at Silver Islet. Oh, the Allagash is another boat. We had the raft in Dee Harbour, And as it was going by, we pulled it out, and they hooked onto their raft, and it was tagging along with the raft that they were towing, eh?
Okay.
But mostly in like Nipigon Bay area, it was just what went to Red Rock. We towed in. They towed in on their own boats.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they
Okay.
towed into Red Rock Mill, and they counted.
Gordon Waghorn used to do what they call stick jack. And you go with us to our raft, and you start pulling up like this, because there's a mark on the bottom of the log, on one end, eh? Like a bottle is, bottle was Domtar's stamp, APP was Abitibi, and then whatever Marathon was, I don't know what that was. You didn't get much of that in the bay here, though. But anyway,
No.
they'd go, and you'd lift it up, and you'd say it, and then he'd mark it. We'd do a bunch of it. Then that way you would get the percentage of who's in that raft, okay? Because now, say Domtar was getting the wood, they would pay to Abitibi the stumping rates or something, or whatever they paid. They had to pay that, then it made it work out. Eh? But old Gordon Waghorn used to be, and he was on the Pulp and Salvage Association for us. He was on our side, you know, and the other guys like Bill Comrie, who was the other one? Conway, John Conway. He was on the side for the company. So they're always like this, they're trying to get more wood for us, and they're trying to steal more from us out of the measurement. Eh?
Right.
There you go, pi r squared, how thick, this, that. They're just a cuckoo-ness.
You want to tell them the story about how you cheated them?
Oh, I got him good. I forget, who was that? Was that Conway?
I don't know.
I don't know if it was
But
Conway
it's
or
funny anyway.
not. But anyways, the raft was laying up against the shore. So he said, "Well, we'll walk around the inside. You hang on the edge of the tape." End of the tape. I said, "Yeah, okay." So I just kept feeding tape up my sleeve. Feeding tape up my sleeve. That last one, he ran out about 30 feet or 40 feet, because the last run it had to be, you know, he had to see the end of the tape, right?
Yeah.
So I let him feed it out, and he wasn't looking to feed it back to him. So I bet you, well, I'll put it this way. We didn't lose nothing that day. Put it that way.
Sure.
And my dad, too, after, he said, "I thought you were going to get friggin' caught." I said, "What are you going to do, beat me up?"
So did you ever beachcomb on Lake Helen?
No, Lake Helen we did on Lake Jesse and Forgan Lake.
Oh, okay.
Jimmy, I don't remember it being Jesse Lake.
Jesse, I remember Jesse. Boy, but like I said, Boy Black worked for us up there.
Yeah.
Him and Robbie Honula, too.
So there wasn't enough on Lake Helen, or they
Well, that
didn't
was,
lose
Oh,
any?
no, that was Leo Lespies.
Leo Lesby had that contract.
Different contract. There was like
Oh, I
the
see.
two top lakes was my dad and Henry, I think it was together.
Yeah, yeah.
Or whatever.
They're
Anything
partners.
Like that.
They're partners,
Then it was Leo Lesby. Then it was Carl Atkinson.
Oh yeah.
Down here in the bay here, around by Honeymoon Cove.
I think it was Lesby mostly on Lake Helen. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Carl
Lesby was all that. Nobody else was in there but Lesby
Yeah.
for Lake Helen. But Honeymoon Cove, I think it was as far as Spectacle Islands. Because I think Gordon had the rest, and Uncle Gordon had the rest.
Yeah.
Like he had Lagrange, Vert, Utans, Burnt. Go
So
that way, eh?
they had to put in a bid
No,
to, how did they get the,
it's like a trap line.
a what?
Same idea as a trap line.
Oh,
That's yours. That's your trap line.
okay.
That's it.
They must have had to apply somehow though.
Well, I mean, once it was yours, it's like a trap
Yeah,
line.
just,
Oh,
just
so you
keep-
kept it for a long time?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. It was,
okay.
yeah, it was,
years
yeah.
and years and years and
Yeah.
years.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, you never switched out. Not that we wouldn't have wanted to, but we just didn't.
So whereabouts did you get the boats that you're all talking about? Somebody built them, you bought them?
Went to what is this? They went to the bargain store.
No, no.
You get them just bigger than you bought them, and they get bigger. No, if a person wanted a boat, you might go down to Southern Ontario. That's where my dad got one of his. Well, actually, both of his boats come from Southern Ontario.
Which one?
Both of them, Jim Dandy and Morningstar.
Oh, I know, but we're maybe talking about the logging days, though. Eh?
Yeah.
We talking
how about
logging
that
days?
Yeah,
Well,
even then.
his boat come from there too. The logging days.
The ugly duckling, where'd that come
That's
from?
the ugly. No, that was made. That was
Yeah.
made. His dad and him made that. And his
I
dad
don't know.
and Gordon.
He built the seagull.
Uncle Gordon's. That was a seagull.
Yeah.
Uncle Gordon's and
Grandpa built that one.
Yes, built that one too.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know which one that George had. Uncle George had. I can't remember. And I thought it was pretty much the same as
Who's the Maid of the Mist?
Maid of Mrs. Henry's.
Okay.
And I don't know where that came from neither.
I don't know either.
No,
But
but I know
the Flying
that.
Dutchman came from Rossport, from Dolph King, but
Dolph King, yeah.
Uncle George had that.
But
one.
he traded a boat for that boat, and the boat that he traded was a shorter boat that George traded Dolph King for. Was a shorter boat. It had big, heavy, like oak ribs.
Oh.
The ribs were about that wide, and about that thick, and it just like, oh, it was a tough boat, but I don't know, whatever. He traded, and he traded even, and I think he got snookered on it because the Flying Dutchman was kind of funky, eh?
Well, one boat my dad had built for Henry, remember in the back behind Gordy Walters' garage there? Walters, I don't know if you remember that.
No, I don't
Too
remember
young,
that
but
one.
he built it. It was an open boat. I don't know, might have been 25 feet long. It was an open one. He used that for beachcombing, but
Yeah.
my dad built it in the backyard.
Yeah.
Of, Gordy Walters in the garage there. Eh?
Yeah.
You remember,
Is it-
you remember
no,
that
no,
little
no,
flat? There's no cabin on it or nothing. It was just open boat.
Not the one that you had the pink lady on.
No, no.
Okay,
no,
okay,
no,
okay,
no.
okay.
That was a hull we bought. We bought
Okay, that was
How much
that was
time on it?
that was plywood then. Was that boat plywood? The one that he made at Walters?
Yep.
I think it was. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I kind of don't remember that.
Were they novice at building boats, or were they experienced
Well,
at building boats?
If you wanted to go on the lake, had to made something to
They
float.
were, I think my grandfather was pretty experienced at it because he built some for Don Clark, the ECDC, he built that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think
And that's
he's
down
quite
here in the graveyard,
experienced
eh?
at it.
Boat graveyard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He, I forget how the hell did that go on? How did that go on? Grandpa had built a boat,
Yes.
and he asked his brother, he said, could he give me $500 so I can plank it? So I'll pay you back. And he said, I'll wait till you're hungry. He said, you'll just sell that to me for the $500. That it was all ribbed already, eh? My grandfather cut it up and burnt it. He said, "You will
Really?
not get that."
Oh,
He
well,
cut that up.
something
and he
like you
burned
do, eh,
it.
Hooch?
Oh, don't! You know what? Don't irk me like that. That's not right. It wasn't nice. You know, he was playing the card like, "Oh, you're stuck now. We'll get you. You're stuck. You're stuck now. I'll wait till you're hurting enough, then you'll come around."
Well, one thing I got to mention too, they're talking about boats. The last river drive was done by us guys, eh?
Yeah.
They brought the booms. Okay, the last one, the Abitibi, was in 1973. In 1974, they wanted these booms down. Marathon wanted to buy them, eh?
Of a dumpster.
Yeah, no, it was Abitibi booms.
Were they have a TV booms? I thought they were
That-
dumpster.
well, I don't know. Anyway,
Big
they were
Sitka
Abitibi.
spruce anyway.
They were-
Big booms.
They wanted them. So anyway, we brought them down the log chutes down in the Nipigon. And
Yeah.
if I would have had movies, that was unbelievable. The first set of booms went down at Pine Portage. There was 30 in the string. Eh? We didn't cut them loose, and by the end, I was running the gate. I was experienced because I ran all the gates on the river drive. I worked the river drive, eh? And the water must have been 200 feet in the air. It was
Ball
just-
of water, yeah. When they were
Oh
holding
my
back
God.
like they're the
Just
booms
a
are going
power.
over and the water's going faster than the booms are going, so it's just flaring up like
Oh.
that, eh? It's just like that. I was on the boat with the old man, a gator, and he told me before we started, he said, get that axe ready, he said, and he said, if it looks like we're going to go over that, he said, you hit that line with that axe. He said, you cut her loose.
So did you cut her? Could late go? You had to cut it.
Yeah, I cut it.
Oh, you had to cut it. Eh?
Cut it.
Yeah, I know. Oh
It was-
my God,
That boat was going
That was
back and
scary.
the water was coming over the stern.
it was scary.
It was
Yeah.
pulling it down there that fast, eh? Like that, the
Yeah.
booms were pulling that boat backwards. See what the deal was you had all these booms here. Now there's this gateway here where the water's going over. So you kind of line it up like a spaghetti. Okay, so it goes down straight, and you're kind of holding it so it goes straight, so it don't ball up.
Right.
Well, now guess what? It's pulling harder than you can pull, and yours is going to go straight over too.
So then the peninsula came down after all the booms were done.
Okay, so explain, Jimmy, how that the seasons change then.
Yeah. In the spring we always go fishing, and after about a month of fishing, usually it brought us into, I don't know, June or something, May, June, around there. Then we put the nets away, grabbed the booms, and went beachcombing, and then we did that until September. Then fishing, and then lots of times in the fishing too. Then when they went into fishing and for herring fishing, then that got right late in the year. I can remember my dad one time in the fall. He come home. He finished fishing on the 24th of December.
Yeah, it was late.
He come in.
Yeah.
He come in just ready for Christmas Day.
Wow.
Still fishing out there in that cold.
Yeah.
I still tease Georgie Borg, eh? When it gets winter like this. I said, "Hey Georgie, you want to go fishing?" He said, "It's too cold for me now," he says. But he used to fish with them too. Georgie Borg used to go.
So just explain to me, when you're spring fishing, a certain kind of fish?
Usually whitefish. You usually get, but it was just whatever seems good at the time.
Whitefish.
Whitefish, yeah. You get some lake trout.
Yeah.
So how many of you would be out fishing?
Three.
Three of
Three
you?
on a boat.
Usually- yeah, usually
Maybe
three, yeah.
maybe four.
Four boats?
No.
Oh, no, four
Three,
people.
three,
on it.
three,
people, yeah.
3 to 4 people, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But all the boats would be out, like my Uncle Harold, my dad, my Uncle Gordon, and I guess Henry too, but he was, yeah, that's after when you had the Pelican,
Yeah.
then he was out too.
So you are catching a lot of fish in the spring.
Yeah, reasonable amount. Well, enough to feed your family,
Right?
you know. So.
And did you sell it?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Camp
Yeah.
fisheries.
Well, commercial fishing, of course. Oh,
Yeah.
camp fishing's a,
Can't fish, you can buy it.
Fair
and-
Plaid fisheries from the Sioux.
From Batchewana Bay, yeah.
And then there was American outfit used to come up to, I forget what the name of that one was. They used to come and buy it.
Just a second now.
but camp
Boston
fisheries,
Fish
I
Company.
remember them even
Remember.
with their trucks down at the marina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I-
Yeah. But this is quite a while ago. But when Art used to fish, there was the availability of shipping fish wasn't the same as it is now. He used to take his fish on a wagon, drawn by the horse. He'd bring it up to Lakehead Freightways here, drop it off on the deck, throw a tarp over it, Lakehead Freightways truck come up, pick it up, bring it on the bay. And that horse, this is funny because old Mrs. Matson, Nellie Matson, I got to meet her and this and that. In fact, I liked her and I used to catch the fish and I'd give her a fish all the time. Eh? But anyway, she was talking away this and her. She said, I got something. She said, you might be interested in. She said, what's that? She hauled out this picture. It's a picture of a horse. I said, oh, huh? I don't know. What is this horse? What does the horse mean? What does this say? She said, well, that's my husband, and that's your grandfather's horse. And she had a fedora, and they cut the holes out of the fedora, pulled it over the head, and the ears are sticking out. She said, that's your grandfather's horse. So anyways, she gave me the picture, and I gave it to Dad, but I think it got lost in the shuffle. Eh? But Grandpa used to use the horse in the summer to take his fish up there and whatever. Then Mr. Matson would use the horse with the sleigh or the wagon to bring his milk in to town to sell it. So they both had a share in the horse. I think it was my grandfather's horse, but my grandfather didn't have to take care of it if this guy's using it right. He was feeding the horse and that, so it worked out pretty good. It was funny.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, an old lady there. She was about 90 years old. She hauled that picture. I thought, oh boy.
Yeah.
And she had a real sweetheart, her too. I don't know if you know
Yeah,
her.
yeah, I did.
She's a really nice person.
Yeah.
Really, really nice
Yeah,
person.
yeah.
Very soft spoken. She wouldn't say anything to you if she. It's hard to get a word out of her. But then when you got her talking, yeah. It was pretty good. She did pretty well.
So,
Right on.
yeah, then interesting, you're right, because that's health and safety sort of came along and
Yeah, yeah.
affected the shipping of the fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they had to have a time frame and all the rest of this too. Eh? And,
So you
know,
did
and, know,
whitefish in the spring. You're still doing whitefish in the summer?
In the fall, yeah.
In the fall?
In the
Oh,
fall,
yeah.
yeah.
Lake
Yeah,
trout, yeah.
yeah. That was a major one, but you got lake trout too. And I don't like lake trout.
So-
Personally, I don't
Then
like lake trout.
they did the herring fishing too in Black Bay.
Yeah.
Like later on in the year, eh? Like
Yeah.
around November they started it. Middle
So
of
when
November.
you're bringing in the fish like that, you're sorting? Are you getting rid of some of the lake trout or that, or you just take it all?
Well,
They
if
take-
they're dead, you can do. You gotta throw it away.
Right,
You know.
of
So
course.
it's yeah. And they usually there's not too many of them alive when you bring them in. Not too often.
Okay.
But they're pretty much catch keep. So you clean them right away and get them on ice, you know, so that you don't spoil. It's not.
Right.
It's not
There was no
spoiled.
size on them, like just
No.
So.
Right.
But
No,
there was,
you don't want
there was
little ones like
quotas, so
that.
you had quotas. You had a certain amount you could catch only, and then
Yeah.
you'd stay within your quota.
Yeah.
And if
Okay.
I gave you a fish, I'd have to mark it on my book
Invoice,
and
yeah,
say,
yeah.
So it'd be all. So that's part of your quota, right?
Right.
If I
right.
gave it to you, even so.
I guess
Have to
what
be
you,
legal.
yeah, I guess what you're thinking, and I'll clarify that for you is, okay, there's a net, and your net has certain size holes in it, and that's where the regulation comes in, and this size of a net lets a 2-pound fish go through the hole. So if that net was smaller, it'd be less. So you have a certain net size for what you're fishing.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, it lets the other fish
Yeah.
go through.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so then the bigger ones
And
get caught.
the government sets that size?
Yes. Yeah.
And the government gave you quota?
Yeah, MNR,
Right.
right? Minister of Natural
And
Resources,
yeah,
yeah.
oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
And every time you turn around, they're trying to cut it down. Well, not trying to cut it. They were cutting it down.
Yeah.
There's no trying to avoid it. Always cutting.
So also in that quota, were you given an area that you could fish only, or
Yes,
you
it
could?
was block license. You can have a block license, like you could have a little block here that you fish on. You can't go off that block now. Now, if you give up this block to this whole area, you give up this block, now you can fish this whole area. Okay? Mm-hmm. But if you hang on to this block, no one else can come into your block, but you can't go out of it neither. So it's kind of like you're making yourself a little prison here.
Right.
So if you give up that right to that small block, then you can fish this whole big area.
I didn't know if there was blocks in the bay or not.
Yeah.
Like, I know Shelley had one down at
Yeah.
Gravel
River.
River. That's
Yeah.
the only block that I ever knew of.
Yeah, Dad had block too.
Whereabouts?
But they cut that. They got rid of it though.
Yeah, okay, because I don't remember
see-
a block being. I just that's Shelley's block. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you had a wide area that you could
Yeah, the whole
fish in.
Nipigon Bay.
All of Nipigon Bay. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then these 3 blocks can fish in this area. Now these 3 blocks can't go overfish that area. Them blocks in that area can fish that area.
Okay.
You see, it's like small blocks in quadrants. So it's just like you're allowed to give up your block and be in this quadrant. You can't go in that quadrant.
Oh, okay.
So that's, and otherwise it would be a heyday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there'd be no, like we'd be going over to.
Do you think there was ever fishermen who ignored that? Oh,
Are there speeders?
That tells me.
Are there speeders on the highway? Are there thieves that rob banks? Like I mean, it all goes with the project.
So-
like, I mean,
So are the M&R very prominent out on the lake checking things?
They come out.
yeah, they did. Yeah,
Yeah.
they'd check. They'd fly.
Oh,
They would fly too.
okay.
Yeah.
So now tell me about winter fishing, because I thought I have read somewhere where you did winter fishing.
I think we may have winter fished a little bit.
Yeah.
Way back when. I remember once with my dad going down over the garbage dump in Red Rock, past the Miller, there was a
Yeah.
little dump pile. We went down there with a toboggan and an ice slick and one of them, a jigger and a box of net. We went down there and set that, and I think we lifted it a day or 2 later, and that was it. This ain't worth it.
Okay.
This isn't worth it.
Okay.
It's too cold. It's just like
Yeah, it was
you
more-
can catch them fish in the spring.
Right, right.
It's easier. But anyways,
So when you were saying about your dad fishing that one time really late, you were
we were herring
Oh,
fishing
herring
in Black Bay,
Oh.
and they were trawling with nets. They had a trawl, net trawl. They like with a Jim Dandy, and they had all the rigging on it. I don't know if you see the things down where they have shows in Florida of Lone Star Law, and these guys are dragging stuff for shrimp and that.
Yeah.
The same kind of idea,
Okay.
but behind.
You're going to see that on
behind
YouTube from Alan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He explains it well. Yeah.
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 Very impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good then, because, and you also, I mean, I've seen lots of pictures here and there, so
Yeah.
you always had somebody had a camera, which was very fortunate.
Oh no! You can draw pictures. Those are drawn.
Yeah,
Hey,
thanks, Jim.
we're allowed to lie a little bit, are we not?
Oh, I've seen good
Yeah,
pictures,
yeah,
though. I
yeah.
mean, of the fishing and
Yeah.
the boats. So
Yeah.
that's for sure.
What's that book, Boone, there? That Pirate of Distinction, Henry William Dampier's book.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he has in his book pictures of fish, plants, all kinds of stuff in there. And he had a guy on the boat who would draw this, because he had no cameras way back then, right? So he drew all these pictures. And that actually sealed it that he was actually there, because a lot of them fish, a lot of the plants that they were drawing pictures of, is found nowhere but there.
Oh,
So it put him exactly there.
right,
But that's why I say he drew pictures.
Right.
That's why I was saying that. Kind of a kick.
right. So then just give us a little bit about how your dad got involved in the Morning Star.
Well, the M&R wanted to get rid of him, so they bought him out, bought his license and the Jim Dandy, which he didn't want to sell, but he's coerced into selling it, so he sold it. That's another story. But anyways, so he sold it, and then him and my mom went on this hunt for a boat. So they went down. They got what's the taxi driver's guy named there. Anyways, Leon, the
yeah.
taxi driver. Anyways,
Yeah,
he
good guy.
drive him down taxi, and drove him down to Southern Ontario. And they found one boat that my dad liked. It was a smaller boat, and that's the one he wanted. Then they saw the one, the Morning Star. And he looked at that boat, he told my mom, he says, that's too much work. He says, he didn't want to do it, but he bought it anyway. So
Yeah.
he bought it from Trenton, he brought it up, and I went down with him in 1985, it was, he got it, the spring. And we brought it up to Trent Severn Seaway, through the channel.
Yeah.
43 locks we went through. It seemed to take forever, because the locks, it was early, it was in May, so the locks closed down at 4 o'clock. So you get to a lock and you'd have to sit there all night waiting. And it took, how long did it take? About a month to take that boat up here? It was long, and there was no heat in it either, it was chilly. Oh, so anyway, but the guy came, the guy bought it from, Ted Muse came with us, and as far as the Sioux, then we took it on from the Sioux, But, so that's where the Morning Star came from.
Okay.
Then that was my dad's labor of love for the rest of his life, pretty much.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But at first, what did he use it for when he first brought it up?
Well, he just fixed it for personal, for
Right.
chartering. He
Oh,
took,
for chartering.
took people out, yeah.
Right.
He did a lot
Yeah,
of chartering.
the
and all
commercial
that, yeah.
fishing was all done because
Yeah.
ministry took the license with the boat and everything else. So
Okay.
that was gone. Beachcombing, well, that was finished. The river drive was done. So
Yeah.
everything he used to do with a boat is now gone.
Did
Gone.
lot
I
of
mean,
res-
a livelihood, I should say.
Right, right.
But he enjoyed his boats anyway,
Yeah.
even though.
Yeah.
did lots of work with the NMCA Parks Canada. Gail Jackson, they did lots of work, lots of
yeah.
4 or 5 years research with them, going to different places, and
Right.
so that was fun for them.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. And they did well with their charters. I mean, they enjoyed that. That was
Oh, my
not
mom
really
loved
a chore, was it? It was
My
something
mom
that
loved
they
that.
enjoyed.
She ate that.
Yeah.
My dad liked it, but I think my mom loved it.
Yeah. Yeah.
My dad
You're
liked
right.
it, but my mom
Then
loved
my
it.
dad was involved in the Coast Guard too, you know that.
I was
He's,
going to say
yeah,
about the Coast Guard. How
yeah.
did that happen?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know how it really originated, but
I-
he was doing all these.
He was doing all
Rescues and
these
stuff.
rescues already without being on the Coast Guard.
Okay.
Yeah, he did a lot of stuff beforehand, and I
Yeah.
don't know how he got into it, but he got into it, which was good, because then every time there was somebody called out, he got paid for it instead of going on his own,
Right.
Yeah.
They get a case number and go do it, And so,
Yeah,
and he went on with that that must have been 35, 40 years.
yeah, quite a while.
You got your 30-year thing there?
I think so.
Black?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's
so,
someplace under the dust.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, yeah.
yeah.
So it was Coast Guard that, and chartered. Howie Shaboyer made a lot of charters. They had the day charter. They leave the dock early in the morning, go around the island, and the whole day. So that was, that's quite a
Yeah.
thing to have for
Yeah.
to offer for the community. It's
for
amazing.
sure.
But
Yeah.
he'd stop at Bowman Island. They'd have their lunch there, and then carry on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember going on the boat the time that they were out looking for peregrine falcons
Oh yeah.
up on the rocks up
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Yeah.
Down at the mouth of the river,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Took a group. I think they were from Thunder Bay.
Yeah. They did that every
Radcliffe?
July 1st, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I just remember going out on that.
Well, wasn't it wasn't that the guys the ones that bought that property here on the corner down by Honeymoon Cove?
Field naturalists.
Eh?
Field naturalists. You mean? Or
Yeah,
Oh, could be.
I think that's probably them that bought that property.
Could be.
For just to leave it for the birds and everything else, or the natural, whatever.
It was interesting anyway to watch them
Yeah.
and the boat
Yeah.
being out there to do that.
Yeah,
Was it
yeah.
Brian Radcliffe was the guy?
Yes,
Yeah.
he's
Brian.
still a bird guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
yeah.
sure,
Yeah.
for sure. Talking about birds, though, you must have seen a difference when you saw those cormorants,
Oh,
seagulls,
Oh,
and
yeah.
and now
Thanks.
pelicans.
Yeah.
So you've seen changes in the bird population
many.
on the lake.
we've
Yeah.
seen too many changes. That's wrong. It's all wrong.
Yeah, there's lots of birds there.
Oh, the geese too. They should never have been brought here.
The what?
The geese.
Oh, the geese. Oh, I was in on that thing.
I
I
know you
remember
were.
that.
I know you were, and you won't be able to hide it from me.
Oh, actually, Herman.
My mum,
Herman
too.
gave me an early ride down to the.
Yeah.
Right. I remember that time.
Yeah, it's
And-
like, oh,
And Patty worked for the Gazette, and I remember Herman lending her big rubber boots so she could go out in the water too. But
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
right, that
yeah.
was
that was a mistake.
yeah. But
You
you know
know
what?
what? You-
They would have got here eventually, Jimmy.
Yeah.
You know, not like this though. Not tame.
You don't think so?
Not tame. Because if they'd have left that done as where you could shoot your gun down there, that would have kept them out.
Oh, okay.
That would have kept them dead. That would have kept them dead. But see, do you know what
Things
it
change,
is? There's several things happen here in Nipigon that it blows my mind. They want to do all kinds of stuff with the dock. You know, why don't they talk to someone that's been around the lake
Oh,
forever?
yes, yeah.
Okay, no, they go out west. They got a guy from Winnipeg. Well, look what you got.
Yeah.
Glenn, if you're gonna grow a garden, would you come ask a Dampier about how to plant it? I don't think so.
Oh, I might
don't
ask Dampier's wife, though.
think- But yeah, but
maybe.
you know what I mean. You're just.
Yeah, I know.
I have a real issue with that. I just think I don't know.
Yeah,
Whatever.
yeah, for sure.
I should let it go because I'm pretty much done anyway. I got 20 years left or something, maybe. Better let it go.
But I can
Anyway.
remember also, now, one little thing we can touch on is you had the ice house down there.
Yes.
And you must have cut the ice. I can remember taking my
Yes.
kids down there and the
Yes.
police
Yes,
coming
yeah.
and
Yes.
wanting to know what we were doing down
Yes.
there. It was
Yeah.
so embarrassing for my dad because my mom and dad were elderly and we went down there and the cops showed up and what are you people doing down here? We're just looking at the ice. But somebody had called them. And then I understood, of course, your dad was in a position where he could look down to the dock and see what was going on down there.
He could always look down there.
Yeah.
And I
So
made-
what were you doing? What was?
Well, we
They were
went
just
down to see
looking
the
at
big
dock.
blocks of ice that you. Jimmy was involved because I brought my class to the ice house
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
that time to see the hunks of ice because
Oh.
it was amazing to me
Yeah.
how thick the ice was.
Yeah, yeah.
And what did you do with that ice?
We, when we got fish, we took a block out, we stuck it in the water, and got the sawdust off it, put it up in a box, chip it into chips, throw it on the ice, and away it went.
Okay, I
That
just
was our-
remember
that
the
was our-
ice
yeah,
that you
yeah,
had.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And you were saying that about he could see down to the dock. Well, a couple of times he couldn't see down to the dock, and I fixed that. I made view possible. Anyway,
Anyway, lots of little things that
Yeah.
I remember just
Yeah,
from
yeah,
that part,
yeah,
but I
yeah.
just remembered the ice.
yeah,
the
yeah.
ice had
That's the
that.
same building.
Same
Building
building.
that's there right
Oh,
now.
yes, the
That's the
same-
same building.
But then
Right.
after the ice, then they had the ice making machines.
Yeah.
They upgraded.
Oh, okay.
We had two machines. Two.
Yeah, two,
fishermen-
yeah.
two machines.
Yeah.
$1,500 a piece.
Quite a. Quite
I remember what it was when they
there.
bought them.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got a grant for it too or something.
But I mean, the ice, to me, that ice was thick, and you got it just from the dock area, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So it was thick ice then.
Yeah.
Chainsaws and cut blocks and pull
Yep,
it.
Yeah.
yep.
I remember
Ice
that.
slick, hook.
You're going to see that on here too, boy.
Yeah.
Glenn, you're going to. That's a.
Yeah. Okay, so before this finishes, then we want to say that after you've seen this interview, if you're interested, there's a YouTube video out, and you could just put in Dampier's on Lake Superior, and it'll take you to the YouTube, and
That-
that's done by Alan.
Yes, the Dampier's on Lake Superior, done by Al Dampier.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. I'm sure that people will be interested in
Yeah,
that.